The sun sends us a lot of energy, a lot of energy. In fact, we're swimming in it. You've heard the names X-ray, UV, infrared, gamma, and so on. These energies are all made from the same stuff, but at the same time, they're completely different. The thing that makes them all different is called their wavelength. So all of these energies are thrown at us from the sun and travel in waves. They travel to us in waves. They travel in general in waves. It's the distance between peak to peak that are called wavelengths. And this distance between the waves is what makes a microwave different from an X-ray. It's what makes an X-ray different from UV, and then a UV different from infrared. Our bodies respond differently to different wavelengths. For example, long waves, like radio waves, we can hear. Shorter waves, like visible light, we can see. Really short wavelengths, like X-ray, are used in a variety of ways, but can easily harm our cells in large doses, so we typically try to avoid them. Infrared can feel as heat, and infrared is what we're interested in. It can be broken up into 3 sections: near infrared, which is around 1 to 1.4 microns. It's a small range of only about 0.5 micron. Middle infrared is around 1.4 to 3 micron, and this is normally what we associate with high temperature heat. It's a small range as well. The range is only about 1.5 micron. Now, far infrared has a huge range from about 3 micron to about 1,000 micron. Of the far infrared spectrum, we're not really interested in 3 to 1,000 micron. We're interested in 4 to 24 micron. This is where the research has been done. This is where the data validates far infrared's use in wellness. And as it happens, Nikon's far infrared products emit 90% far infrared. And not just any far infrared, 4 to 24 micron far infrared. Let me back up just a little bit. Everything living, everything that I'm aware of that's matter, absorbs energy and emits energy in equal amounts. Nikon's far infrared products absorb all types of energy, not different from trees and dogs and bugs and you and me. We all absorb the good and the bad, the X-ray, the microwave, the radio waves, the infrared. In turn, we all emit all kinds of energy in the same amounts absorbed. When I say that Nikon's products emit 90% in the 4 to 24 micron range, I mean they absorb all types of energy. And then 90% of the energy that they emit is not 3 to 1,000 micron, which is all considered far infrared. They emit 90% 4 to 24 micron. We're precision engineered to emit just a sliver of the far infrared spectrum. For reference, water and standard cloth or textiles emit roughly 0% far infrared. Brass, silver, and platinum, less than 0.05%, less than 0.5% far infrared is emitted. And just think about that. Just think about how precise this 4 to 24 micron energy is, how the energy that Nikon's far infrared products emit are around 90% 4 to 24 micron. And think about how this happens to be the wavelength range behind all of the research done. And these products do this without electricity, without any other power source. It's impossible, or at least it should be impossible. But this is exactly what Nikon has done. They figured it out. life is. Far infrared is used by plants, for example, to grow, bloom, and continue to live. It's a deeper penetrating form of heat that near infrared or middle infrared, and is therefore able to reach cells deeper within the stems, within the trunks, within the leaves, without burning. And this is pretty important. We all know what happens when plants get too much of the wrong type of sunlight and burn. Like everything else, they can cease living. For animals, animals, including people, when far infrared rays penetrate the skin, they come into contact with proteins, with collagen, fats, and water molecules, by causing something called resonance or micro vibrations. Far infrared causes an increase in deep tissue temperature. Our bodies react by dilating all of the blood vessels. Tissues rejuvenated because of the improved circulation. I've said this before. The obvious part is that far infrared can help us because it helps dilate the capillaries. It increases the size of our capillaries to allow blood to move faster and cover more area. When blood moves faster, oxygen and nutrients are delivered to the cells faster. Our body can simply maintain and repair itself better, faster, more efficiently, more effectively. It also helps us flush out toxins better, and I think we all know the benefits of improving detoxification. But basically, due to today's high level of stress and toxicity, the body's natural ability to heal, it can be compromised, and some of us have reached critical stress or toxicity levels, and we don't have the energy to detoxify or repair our bodies to the extent necessary. The most important thing here is that far infrared is a natural energy and a type of energy medicine that we've all benefited from since the beginning of time. It's an energy from the sun and a type of nutrition for our cells, not much different than food or water. It's different from UV, which is something we try to avoid. Far infrared is literally among the safest energies that we're exposed to, and it's known to help excite atoms in life as we know it. All animals, including animals like you and me. If you spend too much time indoors, it's quite possible that you don't get enough of this, and unfortunately, sometimes it can be obvious. All parts of the human physiology are dependent on far infrared. Again, it's a nourishing energy, and without it, we die. Without enough of it, well, we're just not well. Okay, enough of that. Next question. How do we know far infrared is real and offers these benefits? I suppose it's not really a question of whether or not far infrared exists. We know it exists. It's not a guess. It's not an opinion. It's not a belief. It's really knowledge. It's more a question of, does it have a place in wellness? And what that place in wellness is. Well, there are a number of ways that this can be determined. The first is testimonial evidence, what people have said about it. And far infrared has been around for about 3,000 years. Far infrared has been used all throughout Asia for wellness, for what seems like forever. They would use special stones to treat various ailments, and although they might not have known it was far infrared at the time, they knew it helped with all kinds of problems. Now these stones are known to offer pretty strong far infrared. Secondly, scientific evidence. And this has existed really since the 1960s, when researchers in Japan and Germany saw the potential for this specific energy. And it was really these researchers in Germany and Japan that converted beliefs about far infrared into knowledge about far infrared. But still, nothing beats a good demonstration. A question people used to ask all the time was, does far infrared increase localized blood flow? If yes, it's safe to assume that more nutrients are reaching the nearby cells. It's safe to assume more oxygen is reaching these cells. It's safe to assume that more detoxification is taking place. We had some good fortune, and one of our labs sent us a special microscope that allows us to look at blood flow and changes in blood flow. Let's show a couple of clips of how some of Beacon's products work under a microscope. So what I'm going to do is take a video using this microscope that can actually record my capillaries. It records it 600 to 800 times. I need to set up 2 cameras to get the shot. The lighting isn't great, but I think it's good enough. It's definitely going to be easier to see this on a computer as opposed to on a mobile phone. So I'm going to place my finger into this slot in the microscope and place the FearSkin roller on my finger. I know this product is usually used on somebody's face, but my face won't fit into this slot on the microscope. I'm also going to gently roll the FearSkin roller back and forth to simulate somebody using it in everyday life. All right, so this is where the filming gets a little tricky. Bear with me. I need to paint some immersion oil on so that won't be blurry. Okay, so this is a close-up of me. My finger. And what we're hoping to see is referred to as biosynergy. The hope is that the combination of mechanical simulation and far infrared will cause something called resonance. And here we go. That was faster than I thought it would be. You can already see the blood vessels increasing and the blood flow increase. I can actually see the cells speeding up. Hopefully you can see this as well. It's clear on my end. So resonance is what far infrared creates. It creates vibrations. These vibrations create friction. Friction increases temperature. And with an increase of temperature comes the dilation of capillaries, and this helps increase blood flow. Massage does this as well. It's a combination of the two that you're looking at right now. You won't see anything this dramatic with massage alone, and it won't be this dramatic with just ambient far infrared alone. It's the combination of these two things that is creating this dramatic effect in blood flow. All right, so it seems clear that Meakin's far infrared has a place in wellness. How about the next question? Can we make far infrared? Well, the short answer is yes. The short answer is yes. I mean, we don't make far infrared, but we figured out a way to make a material that can convert other energies in the electromagnetic spectrum into far infrared. It's kind of like we figured out a way to recycle the electrical junk out there and all around us into this gold. Obviously, we can turn electricity into microwave or X-ray. Electricity into microwave or X-ray is pretty easy. Just look at a kitchen microwave or an X-ray machine in your doctor's office. That's what we're doing here. Most of us literally have a machine in our kitchens that when you plug it in, it uses electricity as fuel, and we make microwaves out of it. We can then use those microwaves to heat up food or other things. Fortunately, these microwaves are contained within the oven. We definitely don't want that high power microwave coming into contact with us. As it happens, Megan's far infrared products are machines that don't need electricity. Megan's products are powered by the natural energies created by our universe, and the not so natural energies that are created by ourselves. Just that energy that exists around us in our environment is what powers Megan's products to make far infrared. Okay, so how do we make our far infrared material? I can't give away too many secrets, but I'll try to explain the fundamentals. Not always, but typically we start with a mixture of ingredients. Common ingredients are natural, like certain grades of tourmaline, certain grades of germanium, but there are others that we use, of course. We grind these materials into tiny little particles. These particles can get so small that they look like liquid when they're poured. Really, really tiny particles. And here's an example. The reason we make them into tiny particles is because we want as much surface area as possible. And smaller particles are better for increasing surface area. The more surface area, the more controllable and the more consistent the far infrared will be. So we take these tiny particles and we bind them together using a type of ceramic. It's sort of like a porcelain. It's typically baked at about 1600 degrees, and then we add this ceramic concoction directly to liquid nylon to make fabric for Megan's gloves. We add this powder directly to resin and build it into the jewelry. We've been doing this so long, and for so many decades, that we're truly the world's experts at this point in time. Okay, so I'm running out of time here. So on to the last question. What strategy does Megan apply when deciding which product should have far infrared? Well, what we look for on the development side is called synergy. 1 + 1 = 3. Synergy literally means that the sum equals more than just adding up its parts. You hear the word synergy a lot, and typically it's really used as some kind of metaphor. It's not real, right? I mean, how can 1 + 1 = 3? But when Megan's products are developed, synergy isn't a metaphor. Synergy is more of a first step requirement, and it's one of our greatest challenges. I mean, anyone can make 1 + 1 = 2, right? But when making 1 + 1 = 3, it can be just a mind-numbing experience for those of us involved in development. Let's look at a few examples. The fear stone. Right? Massage is great. Far infrared is great. But the combination yields outcomes better than just massage plus extra help with blood flow. With the fear stone, 1 + 1 = 3. Duct tape. Duct tape is a type of kinesiology tape, and we figured out a way to add our far infrared material, and everyone that's used it can tell you the results are better than just far infrared and kinesiotape combined. So you see, kinesiotape reduces the stress on our pain receptors. It increases, and far infrared increases blood flow, and this is also great. But when you're combining both, relieving the pressure on your sensory neurons and increasing blood flow at the same time, well, now you've got detoxification and the feeding of nutrients to areas that perhaps couldn't be reached before by either technology. 1 + 1 = 3. We always approach development with synergy as the objective. It's what makes our products stand out from what you see anywhere else. It's the reason our products work so well in comparison to the products you see elsewhere. And it's the reason Meakin's technologies have improved the lives of millions of people worldwide over the course of the last 50 years. All right, so that's my presentation. Thank you for the privilege of being able to talk to you today about far infrared, and keep those questions coming. Bye-bye.